Hello people, I am the Real Mac Gamer, and today I will be pitting Batman versus Snake Eyes. This is going to be awesome. I always thought this would be a cool battle. I've always wanted to do a versus video, and who knows, if you guys like this enough, I might even make this a series. But yeah, let's start out by telling you guys the character's origins. Let's start out with Batman's. Most of you already know Batman's origin, but I'm just going to go into it anyways. Now, young Bruce Wayne and his parents Thomas and Martha Wayne were at the Monarch Theater, as everyone knows, watching Zorro, and according to Bruce, it was the best night of his life until, well, you know, his parents got killed. But then, on their way home, they walked through Park Row, which is now known as Crime Alley, where Bruce's parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, were shot and murdered there by Joe Chill. In some variations, it differs, but Joe Chill is normally the person who shoots them in the alley. And years later, Batman even finds Joe Chill, and he hunts him down, finds him, but he does not kill him because, you know, his moral code, he will not kill. After they were killed, young Bruce swore vengeance that he would avenge their deaths. And yeah, so that's why he trained himself to the peak physical and mental condition, and went all over the world and got training from multiple people, including David Kane, Henry Ducard, among others. He got trained by a whole bunch of people. He is at the peak mental and physical condition. And yeah, it's Batman. He's got all his gadgets and everything. So now, going on Snake Eyes' origin, this is gonna take a lot more explaining to do, especially because not as many people know Snake Eyes' actual origins. People know the movie origin, but that is not his actual origin. But just forget the movie. Oh my god. But anyways, Snake Eyes was an army ranger, and one time when he was on a mission, on their way to the helicopter, you know, when they were getting evac, he got shot and almost killed. But then Tommy Arashikage, aka Storm Shadow, who wasn't Storm Shadow yet, went and saved him and took him back to the copter. And so yeah, after that, Snake Eyes got honorably discharged, I believe. And so he was going home, and his parents and his twin sister, on the way to pick him up, were hit by a drunk driver and killed. And yeah, so so that was very bad for him. And then he just went to some town and basically lived at this bar there. And then one day he was just crossing the street, and he just sat in the middle of the road waiting for this truck to come. But then a guy pushed him out of the way, the guy who pushed him out of the way later becomes Cobra Commander. But yeah, he pushed him out of the way, and then they become friends, and they go around all these cities, cleaning them up. They become like their own vigilantes, doing their own justice. But then Cobra Commander takes it too far. Like, he goes too far, and you find out that it was Cobra Commander's brother who was the drunk driver that killed his parents. But yeah, and so Snake Eyes leaves him, and then he goes and he joins Tommy Arashikage, well, Storm Shadow, because Storm Shadow had given him an invitation to join his family's I guess business, I don't know what you'd call it, but they're the Arashikage clan. And so he joins that, and that's where he got the majority of his training. That's where he learned to be a ninja. Obviously he had some really good training as an army ranger, since the army Rangers are some of the best in the military, and yeah, and then when he's in the Arashikage clan, he starts surpassing Storm Shadow, and Storm Shadow gets jealous and he starts getting mad and reckless. And yeah, and then what happens is Hard Master, who is one of Snake Eyes' masters, gets killed by Zartan, because Zartan has this bow that tracks onto your heartbeat, and they were Snake Eyes and Hard Master were sort of training, and Hard Master was mimicking Snake Eyes' heartbeat. And so while Zartan was trying to kill Snake Eyes, because Zartan was hired by Cobra Commander to kill Snake Eyes, but since the bow locks on the heartbeat, it locked onto Hard Master's heartbeat, and it killed him. And Storm Shadow was the best there with a bow, and so everyone thought that he had killed him. And after that, Snake Eyes fled. He went away, became like a secluse in the woods, and then G.I. Joe came after him, and they got him, recruited him, because he didn't have anything left, he didn't care, so he joined G.I. Joe. And then he in a helicopter on the way to a mission, there's these two helicopters, and they crash into each other, and Scarlet gets stuck in the helicopter, and Snake Eyes stays there to try to cut her loose and help her. and an explosion happens and it lands all like on his face and his throat and everything, and so then he jumps out and he's on fire and everything, and the explosion happened right on his face, so he's not able to talk, and that's why his face is all messed up, and that's why he wears the mask, and that is the true origin of why all that happened. Not like the movie to where he swore silence because his master got killed. No, that's not why. But now that we have the origins done with, let's get into the battle. First, let's start off with their equipment. Obviously, Batman has gadgets everywhere. Batarangs, smoke bombs, grapples, everything. Like pretty much anything you can think of, Batman has. And then Snake Eyes, he carries around normally a sword, a knife, like a katana, a knife, and normally a pistol and Uzi. But otherwise, sometimes he'll be armed with assault rifles and stuff. But that's his normal get up. And as everyone knows, Batman has like in the Arkham games, he has his detective mode. I don't know what it's called in the comics, because I know he used it in Hush, but I don't know what it's called. I'm just gonna call it detective mode. He has that. Snake Eyes does not, but Snake Eyes can hear your heartbeat because of how he is trained by the Rashikage clan, so he can hear your heartbeat. I don't know if Batman can maybe hide his heartbeat or if he would know to, but also Snake Eyes carries around shurikens, and Snake Eyes guns to me wouldn't do all too much. They would delay Batman a little bit, but to me they wouldn't do all too much, mainly because Batman's gone up against better shooters and survived. But yeah, like he has his Kevlar even if he does hit him, but still Kevlar can't take too many bullets. Plus he has that open mouthpiece, and yeah. So well, that's for gadgets. I'd have to say Batman wins just slightly. Obviously he has the better gadgets, but the reason I say just slightly is because Snake Eyes doesn't really need those gadgets. I'm not saying Batman does either, but Batman's a lot more reliant on gadgets than Snake Eyes is, to where but they each use their gadgets, well, their weaponry, to their full potential. So it's like practically even, but since Batman has more and the better ones, I'd say, like the more high-tech stuff, I'd have to give the slight edge to Batman. Next is training. Now, Batman was trained by Wildcat, who's another superhero, not too famous, but he trained him with boxing, and he also was trained by Henry Ducard and David Kane, like I said earlier, and he was also trained by a bunch of other people, but that's like some more of the main people that he was trained by that so you might know. And that's his big training. He knows a crap ton of martial arts. He's very smart and everything. And yeah, that's Batman's training. Now Snake Eyes' training is he was an army ranger, and he was trained by the Rashikage clan, and yeah, he knows their own sort of martial art, the Rashikage clan is, and I know army rangers are some of the best in the world, so yeah, that's saying a lot. That's like a big edge that I'd have to say that Snake Eyes has right now is the military training. Batman got trained by a lot of people, but he didn't get any military training, not that I know of. He might have, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but that I know of, Batman did not get any military training. Snake Eyes has that, plus he has his, ninja training, his Rashikage. Plus, Snake Eyes, the difference between Snake Eyes and Batman, a big difference, is Snake Eyes was trained to kill, Batman's trained to fight. So I give the training edge to Snake Eyes, mainly because of that, because the military training and the fact that he was trained to kill and Batman was trained to fight. Now let's do some scenarios, like just hand-to-hand combat. Say Batman doesn't have any gadgets and Snake Eyes doesn't have any gadgets. Who would win? I would have to go with Snake Eyes, because Batman, he's more reliant on his gadgets, and Snake Eyes has that killer instinct that Batman doesn't. Batman will not kill, Snake Eyes will. He has the more brutal blows to where Batman just won't do it. He won't go there. And that's a weakness to in this type of fight. Other things it can be a strength, but Snake Eyes will kill and still has his head clear to where Batman, if he kills, who knows what would happen. I don't know, but he won't kill at all, ever. So yeah, and also the military training I think is a big part of it. But when it comes to hand-to-hand, I'd say, like, their awareness is about the same. It would be pretty even, but I have to say that Snake Eyes pulls it out at the end. And then the other thing is when they both have their equipment and everything, and let's just say they just like met each other, so no prep for either of these guys. That's like the main scenario for this versus, and so Batman doesn't have any intel on Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes doesn't have any intel on Batman, I'd say this would be a really cool fight. But ultimately, I'm gonna have to go with Snake Eyes. I'm sorry, but I have to say that Snake Eyes just wins. Mainly, it's that killer instinct to where that just Batman can't match up. His gadgets can't. He cannot match up Snake Eyes to me. That killer instinct really gives it to Snake Eyes. And yeah, but I know a bunch of people are gonna disagree with me because Batman wins everything that's fan voting. That's a big part of why I didn't do this voting. Also, I don't even know if I'd have enough people voting. But yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment below and let me know who you think would win, and also if you want me to continue this and make this a series.